Good day, fellow Share Every members. Greetings from New Brunswick, Canada. I'm Paula Tozer, creativity coach, author, singer-songwriter, actor, mentor with Toastmasters, and I'm honored to be here with you today and to act as your host for this meeting. I truly believe in the mandate of Share Every, how we as coaches and guides and mentors share our expertise to help those who can truly benefit from an enhanced skill set in the English language to truly shine. Now, I believe that through the efforts of coach and founder Rambabu, as well as every brilliant coach gathered here today, that Share Every is making a measurable difference in the world, and it's an honor to be part of it. I believe that we have members in attendance from all over the world here today, and that's truly exciting. Because through the power of the internet, we can create something colored beautiful that has a ripple effect beyond our personal current location. And we can reach out and touch any part of the world like I'm doing right now. So welcome, fellow coaches and my new friends. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our prime mover of the meeting, Sunitha Bandekar, to introduce our keynote speaker, my friend, ERIC TANDOC. Take it away, Sunitha.
Namaste from India, Mumbai, Maharashtra. I am Sunitha Bandekar. Very, very happy to welcome you all for today's session, as I have a pride being Indian and we are moving with global association. Today's speaker is a professional public speaker, change maker, a very successful Amazon rated author, and he has done great work with Toastmaster Club. So he's a distinguished Toastmaster member also. I'm so happy to welcome him for today's meeting. He is none other than Von Erich. I welcome you all, sir. Please take us with you in the journey of this transformation of your knowledge, your experience and expertise on public speaking and leadership. So please join us, Von Erich, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Sunitha, for that introduction. Of course, thank you very much, my dear friend Paula. It's nice to see you. Paula's been my friend for how many years now? That was 2 years. Pandemic. So she helped me and mentored me in the new program called Pathways. I will not talk about that because our focus here is about leadership and communication. And yes, when it comes to communication, Paula, we also talk about it and exchange ideas, and she mentored me, she helped me. Now, our topic for today is about connection between leadership and communication. First, I would like to say thank you to the Share Every Foundation. I'm a Share Everyone. All of us here, coaches here, we are all leaders. We are all communicators. Especially, I would like to say thank you to Coach Rambabu for asking me again to be your keynote speaker. What is leadership and communication? First, I would like to ask everyone in one word, just one word. You can use chat in one word. What is the characteristic or what is leadership to you? Start now, okay? I'll give you a 1 minute to chat, and our host, dear Paula, my friend, please help me and read what are those, if you can see.
Most certainly. It says, first one is personal empowerment, and the next one is committing to a common goal.
Very nice. Anything else?
Oneness.
oneness. I love that. Okay, keep going, please. Keep going. There's 19
responsibility. Responsibility.
Thank you. Keep going. Keep going. What is leadership?
Come on, folks, add some more in there for us. Creating change.
Creating change. I love that.
The next one. Let's see what someone says.
Thank you very much for your input about what is leadership. Now, what is a good communicator to you? Maybe one word, two words. What is the characteristic or the traits of a good communicator?
Connection, said.
Connection. I love that. Connection. I love the
confidence.
Word. Confidence.
One who connects well.
One
who can express
well.
Yes.
Express well. Love it. Keep going.
They understand that it's a two-way street. They say it's a two-way street.
Two-way street. Keep going. Keep sharing.
Communication goes back and forth between two people. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Someone back for the leadership one said integrity and a person who can lead us in the right direction. Those were there as well. Patience in communication. That's interesting. Yeah.
It's interesting. Yes, I agree with that.
Listening. Our head leads us. Yeah.
Listening properly, first of all.
Thank you, Coach, for that. All right. Okay, that is traits and character of a leader and a good communicator. So our topic for today, what connects a leader and a communicator? We always say a good leader is always a good communicator. Do you believe in that? Now, you mentioned the characteristic of a leader and communication. I'm looking for one thing. Someone said confidence. I'm looking for one. And that is courage. Courage is the one connection that connects a leader and a communication. So what is courage, by the way? Say, sir, courage is the ability to do things despite fear. It's courage. And I'm going to tell you my story about courage. And this is, I like to call the concept of raising your hand when there is opportunity. Okay, everyone. If I ask you, who wants a free membership in SGF? Courtesy of Coach Rambabu. Raise your hand. Can you raise your hand? It's like an exercise. Okay, everyone, raise your hand. Everyone, those who are, how do you raise your hand? Okay. Okay. How about you, my dear sister Laura? There you go. Sandra. Okay. Raising your hand. And this is my story about raising my hand. That was more than 20 years ago. Because of this courage to take an opportunity in the company I work with. By the way, I work with the #1 fast food restaurant in the world. I'm not going to mention the name. Your guess is as good as mine. When the scheduling manager and the top manager, for other reason, our boss, we call it the owner operator in our industry, he said, I'm looking for someone to do the schedule the staff. So that's around 70 to almost 100 employees. And he said, I have someone in mind already, but I'm going to see if she will going to raise his or her hand. So we don't know who is that person in his mind. And when he asked, who wants to be the scheduling manager? I raised my hand like this. And then looking at all of you, how do you raise your hand? You raise your hand like this. Courage is raising your hand like this. Be like a child, very enthusiastic. Who wants candy? Who wants cake? Who wants ice cream? And a child says, me. Courage is raising your hand, not below. Courage is raising your hand like this. as high as you can. And that is courage. And that courage changed my life, my family. I got the job, became scheduling manager, and it leads me to become the restaurant manager that branch of fast food industry I'm telling about. And that is my ticket. Came store manager, head manager, that is my ticket. To where? To my new home, Canada. Because in 2008, Canada is looking for immigrant, looking for foreign workers in fast food industry, in kitchen, particularly Alberta, because Alberta at that time was booming. And that's my ticket. And that's the story, my concept of raising your hand when there is an opportunity, because you don't know where it leads you. So when you raise your hand, I encourage you to raise your hand like a child, very enthusiastic. Me, not like this. That's my story. I'll tell you one another story. Because of courage, my wife, when they offered her the position of a store manager of, I'll tell the name this time, 7-Eleven, a local branch of 7-Eleven here, she did not take the position. Why? Because of lack of courage. But opportunity doesn't knock only once. Opportunity is always there. If you just have the courage to raise your hand and say, I want to be the store manager, you will get it because of courage. And that courage will connect you to the two important aspects tonight: communication and leadership. For the second time, when she missed the opportunity, my wife lost the opportunity to become the store manager. For the second time, after 2 years, they offered her again the position. She has the courage to take the position. Now, she is happy as the restaurant manager or store leader, the branch, the store. She's working. And just last week, she went to a conference in Las Vegas, all free. Free hotel, food, everything is free. And she's still receiving salary for that 1 week conference, and she was happy. And I told her, are you happy? Yes. See, because of that courage, lack of courage, you lose that opportunity. But the opportunity came back because of that courage. You raise your hand. You're now learning, happy, and content. So that is the connection between communication and leadership. It's the courage. It takes courage to lead. It takes courage to speak English when English is not your first language. It takes courage to learn other language if English is only your language. It takes courage to put yourself out there speaking. It takes courage to communicate. Do you have the courage? Ask yourself, do you have the courage? Dear coaches, it takes courage. Now, let's go to another concept. You admit mistakes. And when you make a mistake, be quick to admit it. That is the trait of a good leader in a community. You admit mistake. You actually expand your credibility when you demonstrate the humanity of imperfection. So admit mistake. Be open about situations where you're not sure. When you don't understand, ask questions. Particularly if you are uncertain about something. Admitting mistakes is humility. And you will gain the trust. And you will create openness in the environment when you admit your mistake. So a leader should be quick to admit his mistake. Now, there are 6 actionable ways to admit mistakes. Okay, number one, apologize. Say sorry. Canadians are very good in saying sorry. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry. And I love that nature of Canadians. I'm now a Canadian. And I'm proud to be in Canada. Canada is home. And I like that when I say, oops, sorry. And you cross path together, oops, sorry. And there's still space. Unlike in other countries, they bomb each other. You can't hear the word sorry, right? In India, in Philippines. Because I've been there in Philippines. And we bomb each other, no sorry. But here in Canada, you cross path, they're still 1 meter apart. Sorry. I love that. Say sorry. He said it's easier to say I love you, but he said, some others said, saying sorry is the hardest one. Say sorry. Number two, take accountability. Okay? And then number three, you act first. Act fast. Okay? When you make a mistake, be quick to admit it. But the most important, number four, is offer a solution. Saying sorry is empty if there's no action taken. How can I correct this one? How can I rectify this one? Offer a solution. Okay? Number five, understand why you made mistakes. Don't be too hard to yourself. And six, mistakes happen. So again, I mentioned, don't be too hard to yourself. Those are the 6 actionable ways to do when you make mistakes. And admitting your mistake as a leader, you create again an openness to your environment, to your workplace, to your organization. And sometimes good communication will eliminate or avoid conflict in an organization. This is one way to avoid conflict. Now, that's the second one. When I asked what is the characteristic or trait of a good leader, someone mentioned confidence. Thank you very much. Confidence. Confidence is built on experience. Okay? Confidence is built on experience or taking action in pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. That is confidence. This is a big difference between courage and confidence. Courage is taking an action despite fear, but this time you got the confidence because of courage. You learn, you committed mistake, you admit your mistake, you got experience, and that's where confidence built. That is the connection to the one connection between leadership and communication. Next one. Confidence. You exhibit character. That is you. And you will speak, you talk, you lead. Because you got character. When you have the confidence, it demonstrates competence. Competence, what you can do. How can you serve? So confidence, you think strategically. You have a plan, a big picture. You have a priorities because of your confidence. And you can handle adversity. As a leader, you should look, act, and feel confident. Someone said this, and this is not me. If you can't communicate, don't try to lead. You believe in this one? If you can't communicate, don't try to lead. I remember Warren Buffett said, if you don't have the confidence, it's like you're winking to a girl in the dark. That's what she said. Right? Lack of communication is like winking to a girl in the dark. Yes, the girl can't see you if you're winking in the dark. Just like confidence. But first, what do I mean by 2 words, communication and leadership? Okay? Leadership. Okay? There's styles of leadership. We mentioned the attributes of leadership a while ago, and many of you shared your ideas and input. What is characteristic leadership? What is your style of leadership? Maybe authoritarian, maybe delegative, participative. It's up to you. But in communication, The way of looking at communication is you have this skill, communication in reading, listening, writing, speaking, nonverbal. I love the nonverbal aspect. Your body language plays an important role when you communicate, when you speak. Facial expression. Your voice too is very important. Actually, when we speak, when we present, when we communicate, 10%. And 93% composed of our nonverbal and our vocal variety. In summary, we mentioned connection between the two. But communication for me is the effective sharing of meaning. And leadership, leading to serve others and the organization. We are all leaders here. We are all coaches. I want to call it servant leadership rather than being a leader in an authoritative manner. Servant leadership is you're humble. You think of the people. You think of a leadership as your way of serving others rather than thinking of leadership as the title. I've seen a lot of people who wants to be president, but yet they're thinking about only the title. They want to be president of their club, but they're not ready. Leadership is showing the way, leading the way. You may have the confidence, you may have the courage in leadership, but true leadership is leading other people and serving them. In leadership, there are 5 ways, actually, 5 things to consider. And this will connect communication and leadership. Number 1, listen effectively. We always say we have 2 ears in 1 mouth. That's why we need to listen more. And when you listen, communication, you learn more because you are listening to other ideas rather than speaking because you are just repeating what you know. So listening is very important in communication and leadership. The second one, someone mentioned here, my friend Paula mentioned it's a 2-way feedback. Thank you for sharing that. In leadership and communication, we focus on 5 things. 1 is listening. The second one is engage in a 2-way feedback. There's a receiver. There's the communicator. 2-way feedback. The next one. Think before you speak or act. I know you're familiar here about Stephen Covey beautifully said, we listen not to understand, but we listen because we want to reply. So think before you speak or act. When you're listening, think. It's difficult. It's a skill. I'm still learning the art of listening until now. And it's a cycle, right? It's a continuous process to learn the art of listening. And another aspect to focus in leadership and communication is be dual focus. Focusing on the person we're talking, our mission. And lastly, your mission in building a community. Once you master the skill of leadership and communication, you are building a community. We are a community. Share every global foundation is a community because we listen to each other, we respect each other, and we have a common goal. That's why I'm always here every Sunday. I try my best to be here because this is community. And I share the ideals of Coach Rambabu. I share his mission. Your vision is our mission. I share that one. Now, when I say here about you can't communicate, then you can't lead. So there's a big connection between the two. communication, and leadership. And that is the connection. First, we discuss courage. And it takes courage to lead. It takes courage to communicate. And I ask this question. Do you have the courage? Are you ready to lead? And then we discuss one connection where the humility of admitting a mistake. That makes you a good leader. And lastly, confidence. You get that confidence because of your courage to take the lead. Because of your courage to raise your hand like this and not like this. When you raise your hand like this, it's only half. Raise your hand. Thanks, my dear friend Paul. Who wants to lead SGF in, let's say, Africa? Me. And not like this. It's half. It's below shoulders. It should be above shoulder. Be like a child, very enthusiastic when they ask him or her. Those are the connections. Dear coaches, thank you very much for listening and thank you for sharing. That ends my presentation about the connection, communication, and leadership. Over to you, my dear friend, our host from Canada, Paula.
Thank you very much, Von Eric, for that. And now, our reviewer for this session is Coach Krishna. So, Coach Krishna, the stage is yours, madam.
Thank you, Paula. It was really lovely session that you took. And we got a lot of information, a lot of knowledge as to how to be a good leader or how to become a good leader. So basically, I would raise my hand above my shoulder level from now on. So in order for us to grab the opportunity, we need the confidence, we need the ability to admit our mistakes. And it was really lovely that you put forward the point that we need to say sorry, right? Most of the people forget that point and we take things for granted. That's true. So that's one good point that I got. And when you said about confidence, I really loved I would say a tagline, right? Look, act actually makes you, even if you think inside that you're confident, you would look confident. So that was really very nice point, and it just stuck with me. And the other thing that you told is listen more. In order to be a good communicator, you have to listen more and then react on that, right? So that's another point that I understood. Also, we should never look down on others, right? We have to respect each other. You have to have a respect with any other particular person that is in front of you that you're communicating with. I actually like the point how you involved everyone to tell how a good leader is. So that is a really lovely session one. All the best for you for the future sessions. And lovely seeing everyone raise their hands when he was telling about the raising hands. And everyone did understand today's session very well. I hope to see you all in the next session too. Thank you for this opportunity. Paula and Sunita, have a wonderful evening. It's back to you, Paula.
Thank you.